Hey guys, it's Rufus. On the kitchen site, there are two main ways to defend it. I'm going to start with the horizontal hold across the entire first floor. This is a very common hold, but as you'll soon see, many teams are opting for another strategy. Now, there are three parts to this strat: the site hold, the bakery hold, and the VIP/bar hold. Now, the way you hold site is going to depend almost entirely on how you hold bakery and VIP. This is because the bakery and VIP hold directly affects utility placement, reinforcements, and which walls are opened. When it comes to holding bakery, there's only one thing that is consistent. This wall will always be reinforced. Other than that, there's just so much variance. You can choose to open the prep walls with either head holes or foot holes, and you can do this with either one or no reinforcements. The benefit of this is that it makes it much harder to enter bakery, but the attackers will have to use less hard breach. However, you could also argue that it doesn't really matter since the attackers will be able to easily open what they need anyway. You can also have a person play on this reinforcement if you want to be extra aggressive with this hold. However, if the attackers are pushing upstairs, do not have somebody play on this position. What will happen is the attackers will open above prep, and then you'll be forced to take a gunfight or risk dying when you try to run away. Not only that, but you'll be extremely predictable. Now the bakery walls can either be closed or opened. A lot of teams open it as it can be used as an escape route for the bakery player, and in addition, you can peek through this rotate, which makes it harder for the attackers to enter bakery. When it comes to defending VIP and bar, there's basically one way of doing it. You have one person play behind the bar, and the other person in VIP. You will then need a castle barricade on this doorway, which gives the VIP player flexibility. You can also put a castle barricade onto this doorway, as it makes it harder for the attackers to peek into bar and VIP from the outside. You can also peek under this barricade and peck at the attacker's health if they push reception. And then a castle barricade here is always used, but it is optional. It benefits the defenders if the attackers push bakery, so if you know that the attackers are pushing the backside, you could remove this barricade and utilize long angles. Sometimes people will put a shield here too. If not, there might be some barbed wire, a proximity alarm, or nothing. However, you can also open the freezer wall on this side. What this does is it makes it so that the site players can protect the VIP player. The reason this works is because when the attackers push the backside, they always have a person from white stairs pushing the VIP as others hold angles. And so if you can make it harder to push through this hallway, you can make this hold much stronger. Earlier, I mentioned that the way you hold site is affected by how you hold VIP and bakery. As I've shown, we may be opening the bakery, prep, and or freezer walls, which directly affects how our anchors are playing. This is because our anchors are a valuable asset in this type of hold, as they can easily maneuver and occupy useful angles that defend both bakery and VIP. So when it comes to holding site, your positioning will be ever changing. However, you can choose to do something with this wall. You can add a variation of head holes for either throwing nitros or smoke canisters. I've also seen teams place a reinforcement on this wall and hold this area so that they could peek from here. Really, there are so many options, and there is no best option. It simply depends on what your team wants to do for this strategy. The second type of strat is a roam strat on the third and second floor. This strategy is getting used more and more often as people are realizing just how strong it can be. However, there is no meta for this strat. The way people play this is extremely different, and that's partially because you have so many options. The only common thing is that you are trying to fall back and prioritize your life so that you can waste as many drones and as much time as possible. Basically, you have two people go to the top floor and they destroy a drone, fall back, destroy a drone, and fall back. However, with how big this map is, you can destroy so many drones and fall back so many times. It's so difficult to clear roam, and you can easily waste 1.5 minutes minimum and sometimes up to 2 minutes. Now when you fall back to the second floor, you have two options. You can keep falling down to the first floor and go down white, but this isn't reliable. The attackers could open this wall or use this doorway to hold white stairs. The thing is, you can't retreat down red or brown because the attackers will easily be able to watch for that. So you need to be able to have access to an escape route. The only reliable and consistent one is this freezer hatch. So in order to successfully utilize the freezer hatch, you will first need to open it. I then recommend reinforcing this wall too so that you can cover yourself from white stairs. You will also want to reinforce the train hatch so that the attackers can't take control of the train so easily. Going back to this wall though, you have the option of opening it or keeping it closed. If you open it, you can watch white stairs with this angle and make it harder for the attackers to clear. But you can also experiment with castle barricades, hatches, rotations, and reinforcements. I'm going to be vague here because you need to decide how you will be roaming, and that's going to determine what your setup is. Now that we've gotten both strats down, I'm going to talk about this red wall because it affects both of these strategies. Now in my opinion, opening red wall is very strong in both holds, so you should probably always do it. Here's why. For the horizontal hold, opening this red wall is useful because you can peek into bakery with this long angle and reinforce the bakery hold. You can also play in coats and just defend sight from a different position. It does make it harder to play inside of this part of sight though, because if the attackers push upstairs and somebody goes on red stairs, they may be able to see you. However, most of the time, playing in that part of sight is suicide if you don't fall off because of vertical play and your lack of flexibility in this position. For the roam strat, having this wall open should always be used. Some teams will try to avoid your roam strat and just go for a full bakery push. However, if you set up properly, you can counter this attack perfectly. First, you'll be able to open holes above sight and prevent the attackers from going through prep and waste some extra time. But holes from above are not always reliable. However, angles from red stairs are. Combine this with a player from coats and you can make it very hard to play in sight. The last strategy is something people commonly use but is very ineffective. This is the train hold. I've seen some teams try to hold train in mining so that they can utilize angles from above in order to counter a bakery hold. However, when the attackers clear from above, you're helpless. You will be in a pinched position and you won't be able to retreat. It's a free pick for the attackers if you try to pull this off. Now, if you want to follow my Twitter, Discord, or Patreon, link in the description below. However, that's all I have to say for this video, and if you learned something, give the video a like, and if you want to see more content like this, then subscribe. Toodles.